Yeah. Alright. Well, we're going. We have a little bit of stream delay between Nhan and Noackk, but we do go by in-game time, so there's no RTA worries right there.
The in-game time in this game is just real time, but with the loads removed. So that just makes it fair for people with different computer qualities.
Yeah, Nhan's starting off with a slight lead over Noackk in the very first section of the game. In this part of the game, we're just trying to pick up 2 pieces of yarn and then grab the timepiece as fast as possible. Whoa, never seen somebody dive just off of that. Anyways, you want to go out of your way to grab some yarn in order to craft the sprint time for obvious reasons. You want to go fast in this game. So moving fast is pretty important. So there goes Nhan finishing up the first level, about 7 seconds ahead of Noackk.
So they got those 5 pawns, and that's gonna let them enter She Came From Outer Space. The reason that they're gonna do it before Barrel Battle is because they're gonna get the Brewer hat in this level, and that'll make Barrel Battle slightly faster later.
Yeah, so there's a little glitch coming up on both runners' sides. They're going to be duplicating a ticket. Normally you're supposed to grab 3 tickets in order to open up this red vault. But if you take damage while you pick up the ticket, then you can duplicate the ticket. See, Nhan just did it right there. So instead of having to pick up 3 tickets, you only have to pick up 2.
And that vault gives you a yarn and 10 pawns, and they're gonna get 3 other yarn throughout this level because the Brewer hat requires 4. So, and they want to get that as quickly as possible. So, he made the Brewer hat during this cutscene here. You can make all the hats during cutscenes to save a little bit of time. This section's sort of an auto-scroller. You just kinda get to where the Mafia guy's gonna be, and you wait for him. Also, the Mafia dude, he drops pawns. Those are random between, I think, 3 or 6 pawns per drop, so you can get a pretty big variance in randomness. And we're gonna want those pawns because pawns are used to unlock levels, and we're gonna need a bunch throughout the run. So now Nhan's gonna go to Barrel Battle. He's gonna have the Brewer hat here, which is gonna make the fight significantly faster. It's about 6 seconds. That bird makes the movement a bit easier. Yeah, so here he's using the Brewer hat on the Mafia guy, and that makes it faster to kill him. It's interesting, these runners seem to have pretty similar loading times, so whatever the real-time result will actually probably be pretty accurate to the in-game time as well.
Yeah, so this part of the level is pretty much an auto-scroller. You can just stand in one spot and just have him not hit you at all. Nhan's moving around a little bit, so he may get hit by this barrel. But he's standing in the spot now, so he was just AFK right here, you don't get hit at all.
It's funny because he tells you don't move, but you don't move and then it doesn't hit you.
Yeah, so this is a big part of the Brewer hat, as to why we get it. You can see what Nhan did. He charged it up and threw it at the Mafia guy as he was walking down. Normally you have to wait a couple seconds for him to come all the way down, but if you snipe him with the Brewer hat, then he'll just like basically teleport down. He'll fall down a lot quicker than normal. And you could start hitting him faster that way. It speeds up the fight quite a bit.
You saw there Nhan exited to hub after beating the level. That skips that cutscene. And they're going to be exiting to hub in quite a few other places to save a bit of time.
Yeah, so Down with the Mafia is one of the only cases of RNG in this game. Near the end, there's going to be a little boss fight that, depending on which attacks he does, you will lose a little bit of time. It's up to like 12 or 14 seconds, I think.
It's 15 total.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woofer actually, he's the math genius behind calculating all the RNG time loss in this game.
Here they're just getting a bucket at the very start because they need to press down this button and get the key. And going on that chair is like the fastest way to get up there. So it looks like Nhan's doing the skip here, the fight skip. Ooh, he didn't get it.
Yeah,
We'll
unfortunately.
probably see Noah go for it, but what that would do is skip the... Oh, I guess he's doing it again. It skips the cutscene and the fight with the two Mafia guys, and then another cutscene after that. It saves like 4 or 5 seconds. It's kind of tricky though, because that collision's a bit weird. And you also want to avoid climbing the wall, which means you let go of the jump a bit early. Just takes a bit of practice to get good at, but...
I see Noackk doing it now. Hopefully he gets it. He should get it unless he blocks in the chandelier. There he goes.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
pass.
Yeah,
so
that
Nhan's
chandelier is a bit tricky also. It's like this invisible collision that's in the way.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than it actually looks like. It's kind of tricky to get used to. So you can see this is the boss fight with the RNG. Basically, the attack that he's doing on Noack's side right now, the sandbags falling from the roof, he has a chance to do that only once per phase, but he also has a chance to do it twice per phase. And if he does it twice per phase, it's obviously worse because it's just more time that you have to do without being able to hit him. So getting one sandbag per phase is the best RNG that you can
And then
get.
there's also the angry attacks where he just yells for 1.5 seconds. Those lose a bit less time, but they still work the same way as the sandbags, where you can potentially only get one. So the worst RNG would be 2 extra sandbags and 2 extra angries. What Nhan just did right there was a skip that skips the second half, the last phase of this fight. If you use Brewer Hat and you stand on the very right side and you just charge it up, for some reason, he makes you bounce towards him and it just pushes him out and makes him jump out of bounds. It's really convenient. That's another reason to get Brewer Hat so early.
Alright, so we may or may not see a route difference here. You can do 2 different levels right now. You can either do the Golden Vault or Sewers. Let's see what Nhan does. Nhan is doing Golden Vault first. He's going to do a trick similar to what we did in Cheeky Part of Space. Ooh, unfortunate. He tried to do a special jump called an STJ there, where you get a lot of extra momentum. Basically, you run, and then let go, sprint, and then jump, like 2 or 3 frames after that. And then you get a lot more extra movement forward. Okay, he gets it that time. Basically, he wanted to jump from a high spot. Noack's doing it too right now. He looks good for it. Oh, he unfortunately doesn't get it. I think he's gonna go for... Yeah. Okay, he's gonna go for the 4th ticket. This
Oh, he
not
fell
good on Noack's side. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think getting the 4th ticket's the fastest backup. An SDJ, it's really good for getting long distance, and that's pretty much where it's going to be used, is for skips and rifts and some other levels where they will want to get more distance than is normally possible with a double jump. It basically lets you conserve sprint momentum while doing a normal jump, so you get 2 sprint speed jumps, and it's really nice. So Nhan's doing sewers now. This is the first time rift that we're going to see in the run. These time rifts unlock after you beat certain levels, and they're kind of like the secrets in Super Mario Sunshine. They're fairly short and fast, and you just do some platforming and get to the end. You enter them by going into those time rift portals that are somewhere in the world. You have to find.
Yeah, as Nhan finishes it, Noackk is lagging behind a little bit, just starting it. Looks like Noah's a little over 30 seconds behind right now in Mafia Town. Yeah, a lot of these timers are really cycle-based. You can see Noackk is doing the level a little bit different than Nhan did. I think Nhan went for it, but unfortunately messed up the cycle. Noackk is on pace to make this best cycle right here. Just barely makes the jump. That was kind of scary. Yeah, that's making that jump onto the giant spinning platform is the important part. You can see Nhan is now in Heating Up Mafia Town. The goal of this level is basically to just knock out all of these valves in the area. And you can see he's kind of taking intentional damage on his way over there. He's doing this in order to death warp after he knocks this valve that's right in front of him. Once he knocks that out, then he's going to kill himself and then teleport back to the beginning. It's just a lot faster because it sends you right next to the next few valves you want to do. We'll see another death warp at the end of this level. Ooh. Fortunately, he didn't take damage. He wanted to take damage falling from there, so he would be at 3 HP. You want to be at 3 HP because you can use lava boost to get to this final valve over here, or I guess second to last valve. See if he knows the backup. He does not know the fast backup, but that's fine. He's just gonna have to land in the lava an extra time.
I don't know the fast backup. You have to teach me.
Yeah, instead of like sprint jumping off of the blue roof, you just die boost off of it, and it's
that's pretty nice.
It's pretty fast.
You're gonna notice that they don't do a death warp after last faucet, and a big reason for that is because it doesn't set a checkpoint. So all the other faucets do, but the last one doesn't, so you can't actually death warp after it. Otherwise it might be faster.
Ooh, Nhan just barely securing the sub 2. Good job for him. So yeah, Nhan is entering the second time rift of the run so far. It's also the last level in Mafia Town we'll see for a while. We will come back later for cheating the race. We can't enter cheating the race right now because we don't have enough pawns in order to unlock it. So Bazaar, the level that Nhan's entering, is pretty straightforward. It's just a little bit of platforming to get to the timepiece. There's no huge cycle here, but there is still a best cycle you can hit. Let's see if Nhan goes for it. Pretty similar Heating Up Mafia times from both runners. Noackk got a 2:01 and Nhan got a 1:59, so it's only 2 seconds difference on a 2-minute long level. Yeah, so Noackk is quite a bit behind right now, but there is a trick coming up that if you mess up, you can lose big chunk of time. So if Nhan messes that up, then Noah could be back into the lead. Depends on...
Still looks like around a 30-second difference.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit less. So they're gonna head to Subcon Well now. That's actually the 3rd chapter, but since it has the hookshot item, we actually do this chapter before we do chapter 2.
Yeah, you need the hook shot in order to complete a level in chapter 2. So it's better to just go straight to chapter 3 than go to chapter 2, get up to the level that you need the hook shot, go to chapter 3, get the hook shot, and then go back to chapter 2. So Nhan is setting up for the trick that I was just talking about. This is called bag skip. Basically, it's a bunch of precise jumps. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's not the worst time loss you can have from this, but it is a little unfortunate that he fell from that. He's going to be trying to jump on these trees in a specific order in order to jump over a really long cutscene. So here he goes. Does not get it. He didn't fall down though this time, so we can try and set it up again.
And this is another use of SDJs to get distance. That's why they're so useful.
Does he get it? Okay, he got it now. Yeah, okay, so he gets bag skip after a couple of tries. See if Noackk gets it. So Nhan is still going to be a little bit ahead if Noackk gets it first try, but it's definitely a gap closer.
It'll be almost tied if he does get it, I think.
Here he goes. He got the SDJ, just needs to get on this branch now.
Ooh.
Oh, unfortunate. That's unfortunately the worst time loss you can have from failing this trick.
It's really hard to have enough height at the very end there. You need to start your jump at the right time and space them out properly. It just takes a lot of time to get good at this.
Oh, no. Yeah, Noackk is just going to go into the bag now. This is the consistent way of doing it. Instead of messing up bag a bunch of times, he's just going to go into the bag. And this is the cutscene that we're trying to skip, but if you're messing up bag skip over and over, then it's better to go into the bag. Yeah, that second attempt, he's actually he was actually set up for it pretty decently. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe
what Nhan
just
did was he died as he touched the timepiece, and that gave him the timepiece but put him back in the level, and that skips going back to the hub, so he can now just do the next level Subcon Well right away. That saves only about 3 seconds, but it's 3 seconds, so that's why we do it.
Yeah, so because Noackk got in the bag, he's going to be having a bunch of contracts pop up. You can actually use that as an advantage in the level that Nhan's doing right now. At the end of Subcon Well, you'll be able to have the contract pop up, because whenever a contract is completed, it puts you into a pause screen. So since you're in the pause screen, you can pick up the timepiece while you're still in it, and then just exit the hub. It saves like 6 seconds. Ooh, what the heck? Noack's, oh, okay, that was weird.
Good backup.
Yeah, the painting got stuck on Noack's tree there. On Nhan's side, he just picked up the hookshot upgrade that we were just talking about a little bit ago. This allows you to do some extra platforming. You can see what he's doing right now is just hookshotting around. You need this in order to complete a couple of levels in the run. It's also faster to use it in certain spots. It's definitely a level you want to complete.
Ooh,
that's a yeah, that's a big time loss. At least he got put into a familiar spot. He knew what he was doing to get back out of that. See if Noackk gets Cherry Death. There he goes, gets it. Yeah, unfortunate time loss and contractual obligations from both our runners.
So Noah's now gonna get these paintings. All of these paintings, once you put them in the fire, they bring down walls. There are 3 walls, red, blue, and green, but we only need to get red and blue because the green one doesn't have any timepieces behind it that are fast for any percent.
Ooh, he just barely misses that yarn. He does know the good backup for grabbing that yarn.
I wouldn't have done that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Alright, so you can see what he's trying to do here is if you jump and then dive in between, he blows his little kiss there. If you jump and dive in between that little gap between the well and the tree, the game just kind of pushes you up because it doesn't know where to put you. So it just keeps forcing you forward and that launches you up into the air, and you can use that to get into the subcon well instead of doing it the normal way, which is slow.
Those dives are also frame rate dependent, so if you're at a low frame rate, you just won't get as much height. And that's possible that that's what happened to Noah there. Because it looked like he didn't go up very high. So Nhan is on his way to Vanessa's manor. You would normally want to get the contract and unlock this level, but in any percent, and actually just in general, we can just head to the manor without it because all the levels are just there. So we skip having to get that contract. And this level would normally be this sort of horror sequence where you go throughout the level, but there's conveniently a hole between the barrels here, and that lets us just skip to the end.
Yeah, that hole is intentionally put in the game by the developers. It's, I don't know why it's in the game, to be honest.
The official word is that it's for people who are too scared and they want their kids, to be able to play the game without having to go through the scary part, but no one knows if that's actually true.
Yeah, another theory is that it was a meme with the beta runners, because the level was so infamously long. Everybody was trying to find Vanessa's manuscript, and the developers eventually just put it in the game because it was just like a funny joke. Yeah, so Nhan is about 1 level ahead of Noackk right now. I think it's about 1:20. If Noackk does this level correctly, which he probably knows the strats. Nhan is on the first time rift for subcon. Noackk just got a little bit too momentum off that boost. The time rift that Nhan is in, there is a cycle to it. He's going to make it. You want to get on this gear right here as it's rising up, so that you can just get onto this hook shot before the gear goes down, so you don't have to wait for it to come back up. He's on good pace right now. You can see on Noah's side, he's doing a bunch of platforming to just jump over these ice walls. Normally you're supposed to blow them up with cherries and dwellers, but you can just jump over them because good game design. Instead of doing the puzzle.
And speaking of the dwellers, there's a hat in this game called the Dweller Hat, but we're just able to skip it because we don't really need it for anything, and at the very end of the game, we can skip the required uses of it. That's really nice because it would take 12 yarn, and that would take quite a while to collect.
There's a bunch of very convenient little tricks in the game that you can do that allows you to skip everything you need to have Dweller for. The only thing in the game that you absolutely need the Dweller for is in ATP, which is not any percent. So, Nhan just did a TSJ or triple jump. There's a bunch of ways of getting up there. That's the hardest and fastest way to get up there. There's a really specific way of jumping you can do where you can get 3 jumps. And Nhan just got it right there. Basically, you just need to be sprinting, jump at a very end of a ledge, and then jump again, and then jump again. But you have to let go of sprint in between those jumps, and it's kind of weird, but it lets you get 3 jumps for one reason or another.
Yeah, and there's also an alternative to that, which is the double sprint jump, where you just do that first precise jump and then you sprint jump again. That gives you a bit of extra height. It's a pretty hard movement tech, but it's really convenient in a lot of places.
Noackk might just barely make this cycle. He's gonna go for the... Okay. Yeah, just barely didn't have enough height to grab that hook shot right there. So Nhan just finished Village, which is the last time rift we'll see for a while. It's the last one in Subcon. So now he's in mail delivery service. This level is usually played with keyboard. Almost everybody who runs this game plays on keyboard for this level, because it's kind of like a FPS. You need to be able to aim quickly. And the controller sensitivity is very low. Unfortunately missed the spirit right there. There he gets him back up. What he's gonna do right now is he saved the guy right next to the timepiece for last, so that he could grab the timepiece while the contract comes up. When this happens, you can just save an exit tab. You don't need to wait for the timepiece animation to go through. Once you hit the timepiece, then you have it, and that's all you need to worry about. So now Nhan is going into Battle of the Birds, which is the 2nd chapter. Yeah, officially, but the 3rd chapter in the speedrun.
So this level, Deadbird's Studio, it's kind of a stealth type thing, where you sneak around a studio. The penguins are pretty easy to avoid though in here, and the owls. There's also going to be a skip later on that skips quite a big chunk of the level.
Yeah, all those red cones in front of these birds, if you stand in front of them for a certain amount of time, it'll send you back to the last checkpoint. Some birds have different variants on like how long, or like tolerance I guess, how long you can stay inside of their cone. Most of them you can just stay in them for like enough time for it not to really matter, but some of them will just snatch you immediately, which is this last bird up here is nicknamed the Terminator, because he will terminate your run if you get caught by him. Nhan just passed him right there. If he sees you even for a second, you will get caught and get sent back like 15 seconds prior to that. But he doesn't get caught by him, thankfully. And now he's at the end of the level. He just has some cutscenes to go through.
We need to...
So Noah's on his way out of Subcon. He just has to do mail delivery service now. And then he will be in Deadbird's Studio.
Looks like Nhan's lead right now is around 2.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Somewhere in between those.
Looks like Noah's having a little bit of trouble remembering his route for this level. He's got it now. Yeah, a lot of runners have different routes. Most of them are pretty similar, because some guys are just faster than others. So, the level Nhan's in right now has a pretty big skip coming up in it. We'll see that in about like 30 seconds or so. He's going to skip a large section of the level by pressing a button you're not supposed to be able to press yet. We will see that after he gets in this this cutscene here.
This level is sort of a detective type mission. It's the first of the movie levels in this chapter. Each of the levels is like a movie where Hat Kid is the star. And in this one you're supposed to pick up clues, but we only really need one in order to finish the level.
Yeah, and the game just gives you that one right away, so you don't actually have to pick up any of them. Yeah, what Nhan just did right there, pressing that button, you're supposed to grab a whole lot of keys and unlock a whole lot of doors and do some stuff. He's going for instant door. Does not get it. We actually had Swar get instant door in an earlier run. You can see Nhan got teleported backwards. If you go through that door just fast enough, you won't get teleported back. It's a very hard trick. But anyways, yeah, pressing that button early saves a lot of time. You only need to end up picking up one key in this whole level, this whole section of the level, in order to unlock this final door right here. If you get into this room and then just exit it, that will trigger the end of the game. Or, not the end of the game, the end of the level. Yeah.
Yeah, that clock is artificial. It's not actually on a timer, it's just based on which rooms you've entered.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you can't actually run out of time. So here comes Noackk, finishing up that studio. So yeah, I think 2.5 minutes is an accurate difference in time. Maybe a little more after Deadbird Studio. Nhan is headed towards the second movie section of the game. The second movie level. In this one, you're a diva and you just kind of go around publicizing yourself. Taking pictures and talking to penguins and a whole lot of stuff like that. He was doing a brand new route found like a week ago or something like that, where you get to skip an extra cutscene. Normally, in the old route, you had to talk to DJ Grooves twice, but for some reason, if you talk to this DJ Grooves first, then you don't have to talk to the one that you would normally talk to first. And it changed the whole route, basically. Made the whole route go backwards.
Yeah, talking to Grooves makes the dog for the first Grooves just spawn, so you don't actually have to talk to him to get to the points. And this level is really interesting because it's pretty non-linear, and each of the penguins gives you a certain number of points, so coming up with the fastest way to go through it, it's pretty fun.
There are a lot of different ways to do this level. So Noackk is on to the big cutscene, not cutscene skip, the everything skip. You just skip everything in this level. It's crazy. Okay, he made it. That was kind of risky, actually. I didn't think he would make that. You can see Nhan is in another time rift right now. Ooh, unfortunately doesn't get the... Oh, he's having some trouble. Yeah, so you could see what he was trying to do there was wall climb up that little wall right there. If you get enough height, you'll actually hit a checkpoint. Oh, okay, he gets the double wall climb. Good for him. What he was originally trying to do is get a death warp up there. So like, you get enough height and your head just barely touches the trigger to get a checkpoint, and then you fall down and then get back on top. So yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake, but nothing too big in Gallery.
Gallery is one of the 2 time rifts that are accessible from the hub, and we want to do both of them because they're really fast. The other one is Mailroom, but it requires the ice hat to get to, so we save it till the very end.
Yeah, in order to get to Mailroom, we need ice hat, like Woofer said. Requires 8 yarn. And over the course of the entire run, we're collecting 8 yarn in order to be able to actually get to Mailroom. Mailroom is a really fast level if done optimally, and it's just very good to do instead of a bunch of other levels that are like a minute long. Mailroom optimally is like under 20 seconds.
This is Train Rush, where Nhan is doing right now. It requires the hook shot to start the level, so that's why we do this chapter after Subcon Forest. This is one of the most interesting levels in the run because it's really hard to have optimal movement.
Yeah, there are a lot of things in this level that can hit you and just make you go out of rhythm. There's a little trick coming up. I'm not sure if Nhan's going to do it. It doesn't look like he's on pace for it. So you see those platforms that just riz under it? If you're fast enough, you can actually jump off the train and then land on one of those before they actually get in position. So they kind of move you forward way faster than just jumping over. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, with Picture Perfect having a non-linear route, I see Noackk doing a different route entirely from Nhan right now. This is the last section of Train Rush for Nhan. Just needs to press this button. There he goes. Crafts the ice hat during this cutscene animation. During certain cutscenes, you can pause the game, and since you can pause the game, you can also craft hats. So you can kind of stack 2 cutscenes on top of each other and just save a little bit of time on that.
The reason we make ice hat now was because we're going to use it in the big parade. So you're going to see Nhan use it at the very end, maybe earlier in the level as well. And that'll let him die at the end of the level and get to another rift. Sort of similar to the contractual obligation death at the end. First he's going to do the L Express time rift though. This time rift is really on a cycle. There's a gear that's rotating at the very end, and if you get on it early enough, you are pretty much guaranteed to get the same time at the end of the level. We'll see if he gets it.
Yeah, these first 2 big jumps, the one he just did and this one he's doing right now. Ooh, unfortunate. He has to do this jump again. This jump is really hard for a lot of runners. He gets it twice in a row. This jump right here is hard because if you accidentally ledge grab on one of these spinning platforms, they move at such a speed so that you'll actually just fall into the gap that they provide. So you don't want to ledge grab on them. Yeah, unfortunately Nhan does not make the best cycle. This is the gear that Woofer was talking about, where you can get at it at a certain cycle in order for it to be the fastest that you can get on.
He just went around the back, which is slower if you're on the fast cycle, but might be faster on the cycle that he got.
Yeah, if the gear that you would get if you stand on it is like pointing downwards, it is faster to go around. So we see Noackk in Parade right now. We have a little bit of a route difference. I think Nhan is just headed towards this level right now. So in this level, you basically just walk around, get a bunch of pawns, and wait for DJ Grooves to tell you to do certain tasks. So it's basically a 4-minute long auto-scroller.
Get ready. Go!
So yeah, any like movement mistakes anybody makes in this section is actually not really an issue, because in this section you just have to wait anyways for DJ Grooves to talk to you. So Noackk falling down there isn't actually that big of a deal.
You're just gonna see them getting pawns instead. This level is 44 pawns, and since you have so much downtime, you want to get every single one of them.
Okay, so you can see Noah doing the task that DJ Grooves told him to do. Basically, you just have to walk around and smack these switches and turn them on. The next task after this, you just have to press some buttons, pretty similar to what he's doing right now. Instead, you just have to jump on top of them. Nhan is going for the new parade route. Let's see if he gets it. So, ooh, okay, he's not going to be able to do it anymore. There's a trick that Nhan was trying to set up for, where you set your position, or you set your last known position right next to an objective, and then you get Hackett stuck. And when you get Hackett stuck, it'll warp you over to your last known position. So you can smack one valve and then get stuck, and then it'll warp you back to the next valve.
The reason that works is because the tight ropes and the actual switch thing, they don't count as solid ground because they're just objects, so they don't update your last known position.
I'm pretty surprised how close our runner's in-game time has been like kept together. Normally in a lot of these runs, due to load times, you can have a lot of different variants between actual in-game timer. We're only about 10 seconds apart.
It means you can pretty easily see who's ahead and who's behind, just based on real time.
Yeah, so Noah's ahead in Parade, but he also has an entire other level that Nhan has not, or that Nhan has completed. Actually, I think it's 2 levels. I don't think Noackk has done Train Rush yet, either.
I don't think Noah's going for the parade death.
Yeah, we might see Nhan doing it. Yeah, he's going to be doing it. So what he's going to do is... Oh, that is huge. Okay, that is not good. What Nhan was trying to do is put himself at 1 HP, and then have the birds knock him into the timepiece. The birds that are following him. Depending on which direction you get hit, the birds will send you flying. And you want them to send you flying towards the timepiece. Okay. A little bit of a scary start for Nhan. Hopefully he's...
Wait, does that make all the pawns respawn?
Yeah, it does make the pawns respawn.
That makes me wonder if
Yeah.
that's fast. Anyways, yeah, he's gonna die here and then get into the timepiece. That's pretty
grab it?
low.
Oh, he's not gonna grab that, I don't think.
Ooh.
Oh, there's Nhan having a hard time trying to get this trick in Parade.
Get ready.
Misses it twice. That's a huge time loss on his side. It's about 40 seconds each time.
The
Hopefully
first
he can
one
get
was a
next
bit less than 40 because he died pretty early on,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that's true. But the death that he just had right now was 40 seconds. Right. Take 3.
This is definitely a pretty precise trick and fairly risky, but it saves around 13 seconds, so it's definitely worth going for.
Alright, I think he's got a good angle this time. Yeah, there he goes. A little bit of Parade shenanigans.
Get ready.
Anyways, what that trick allows him to do is respawn yourself inside of Parade. And so after you've completed Parade and Train Rush, it spawns the Moon Time Rift, and the Moon Time Rift is in Parade. So you can kill yourself and then have the timer spawn, so you don't have to re-enter the level to go grab it. So after that, I think Nhan is still ahead, but not nearly as much. This race is a lot closer now. If Nhan has some shenanigans happen to him in finale, Noah could catch a lead. Nhan is also set up for killing himself at the end of this level as well. Normally after you complete a time rift, you get a little roulette at the end, but you can skip that in this level by having the birds kill you in the exact same way as you did in Parade. It just allows you to exit back to Hub instead of having to go through the roulette.
So Noah's now doing that second level that he hadn't done before doing Parade. It looks like his lead is like minute and a half to 2 minutes, maybe. Has Noah done Moon already?
No, I don't think he has done that yet.
So Nhan is now done with Battle of the Birds, so now he's going to go back to Mafia Town, finish up cheating the race, and also do Mailroom. Cheating the race is kind of a scary level. It's basically a 35-second race against the Mafia guy. And it would normally require the time stop hat or the scooter to do casually, but since we're speedrunners, we can do it fast anyway and get there in time. But if you fail this, you will lose around 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah, this level is really difficult for a lot of beginners because there's so much like precise platforming you have to do. If you mess up, like you get an extra ledge grab, that can completely mean the difference whether or not you actually make this race or not.
Oh, this is close.
Okay,
Just barely got it.
Yeah, I was actually kind of scared right there. The Mafia guy almost blocked him out of the way of actually grabbing the timepiece in time. So Nhan is doing Mailroom. This is a big reason why we want Ice Hat. There's another way to get up here without Ice Hat, but it's pretty slow and very hard. So we just get the Ice Hat anyways. Grabbing the yarn is not that slow. He's on pace to do Mailroom optimally. He's doing the fastest route. He does a little bit of a safe start right there, grabbing the checkpoint, but I can understand why he would want to do that in a race. So Nhan now has 25 timepieces. He's headed into finale now. So Noackk just has to do fake finale, cheating the race, and Mailroom, and then he will also be in finale. There's a pretty big skip coming up on Nhan's side. It involves getting out of bounds from this hole that's in finale, in the very corner of the level. You can get out of bounds and then wall climb between two pretty conveniently placed walls and get on top of the entire level. And then from there you can slide your way all the way to the end without having to go through all the platforming and other shenanigans. Normally you would need the Dweller hat to actually complete this level, but because we can do the trick that I just explained, you don't actually need to get the Dweller hat. So whether or not he actually gets this trick or not is going to be the decider of this race. If Nhan does get this perfectly, I think it's going to be really hard for Noackk to pull the W from this one.
Yeah, once he gets past the first phase of Mustache Girl, he'll be pretty safe.
Yeah, he's setting up for getting out of bounds right here. There's a hole in the level right there. It's not really hard to get out of bounds. You just go through it, and then you're out. Noackk doing cheating in the race right now. Oh, that's not good. Okay, he bonked on the chair and did not get through the race. Nhan is doing the finale slides that I was explaining a little bit ago. So he's out of bounds, he's on top of the roof. Now he's sliding across the level at Mach speed. It's very easy to bonk right here. You need to do some specific movements in order to not bonk. Nhan is going for a little bit of a safe strat. He's just entirely not sliding by the areas that you would normally bonk on. So he's just going to go on top and dive boost across.
It's probably going to end up being like 10 or 15 seconds slower, but with such a huge lead, this is definitely the right move. There are also certain spots where if you slide, you're guaranteed not to bonk, and you can just exit the slides, so I'm assuming that's what he'll go for here. Yeah, like right here.
Oh!
I was
okay.
wrong, apparently.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so he's just
I'm actually really surprised that happened. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's a little under 2 minutes time loss right there.
I'm guessing his angle was slightly too far to the right, so that's why he bonked there, but that's normally supposed to be pretty safe.
Yeah, so with non-failing finale slides, Noackk gets a little bit of a closer to being close to a lead. He has this little sequence he has to get through with Mustache Girl, and then he's going to be headed into finale, like Nhan is right now. Their in-game timers have unsynced a little bit. I can't tell, it's about 50 seconds difference, I believe. 40? NA math skills, I know. Nhan is on his way to finale. Let's see if he just slides, or if he just dive boosts on top this time to be safe.
His lead is about 1.5 minutes right now, I think. Actually, it's a bit less, maybe like a minute. Not sure. All depends on if he gets this here.
Yeah, if Nhan misses this again, that is a really huge time loss, and Noackk would probably be in the lead after that. Okay. So there's only two big things he can mess up now. He could miss his jump getting to the timepieces, or he could do a safe strat. He's gonna go for the jump. He's gonna try and jump on these timepieces. Okay. And there he goes.
That was close.
If he fell down, he would have had to exit to hub.
This fight's a bit scary, because if he dies to Mustache Girl, it would take him to the beginning of the level, but it looks good. Yeah, that was pretty clean.
Noah dying, trying to get out of finale, or trying to get out of bounds right now in finale. This time Nhan is in the final phase of the fight. There's no huge mistake you could do right now except for dying like near the end of cherry phase. So
I really doubt that'll happen, but you never know with these races.
here goes Noackk starting finale slide.
So now this is the third phase of Mustache Girl. You just alternate brewer hits and the Mafia Ball.
Yeah, so this is the cherry phase. This is the only other instance of RNG in this run, besides the Mafia guy right at the beginning of the run. Depending on how many times Mustache Girl brings up her shield, is dependent on luck. So hopefully, best luck is one cherry, but it's very unlikely to happen. Let's see what kind of luck he gets. Okay, so far he's on 2 shields, 2 cherry. The average is 3, I think. So he actually gets 2 cherries. Oh, there he goes. He gets 3.
And you got a double hit there with the brewer hat. The double hits only work if the next attack is a certain attack. It works on the shockwave attack and on the purple underground attack. So there's some luck to that, but you should get double hits fairly often if you go for it every time.
Yeah, Noah actually got full slides, so good job to him. He's now in the fight. He just needs to kill Mustache Girl in the first phase, then he will also be in the final phase. No big mistakes he can make after that. He gets a triple hit on Mustache Girl. It's a good job for him.
Nhan's about to do the last phase where you're invincible. You can still lose a bit of time to this, but there's no risk of dying anymore, so you should be good to win the race.
And there he goes. It looks like a 50-50, I think. Shoutouts to Firebear, if I got that right. Noackk finishing up Mafia Ball phase. It would have been a 50-50 if he moved fast enough. But good job to Nhan. It is not possible for Noackk to finish this fight in a time under that. So unfortunately, he has lost, and Nhan is the winner. So congrats to Nhan. Pulling in sub 51. Would have for sure been a sub 50 if he just didn't have all those shenanigans happen to him on Parade.
And also a finale as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Besides those major mistakes, that was a pretty good run.
Noackk is actually on 1 HP in Cherry Phase. If he dies here, it's at the beginning of the run. This is actually kind of scary for him. It's a little hard to tell what's happening exactly, because this level is a killer of bitrate for obvious reasons. There's so much going on the screen.
Yeah, for some reason the devs decided to make a bunch of fletching things, which makes it awful for streaming.
Here we have Nhan. What's up, Nhan? How you feeling, man, after that run? Yeah, I can understand that. You got a little bit of shenanigans happening to you on Parade and Finale there. Noackk almost gained a lead on you there. Yeah, Parade Death was that was unfortunate, man. You missed that twice, I think.
I think I went too early.
Yeah, the second time you went too early by just like not even a whole second, just barely. Noackk actually gets the fabled Noackk potion in this race. So be the winner in my heart now. Good job, Noackk. Okay, Noackk is gonna finish with a time just under 52:30.
He did say before the race he'd be amazed if he got a 55, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, good considering.
Legendary gamer.
Alright, I didn't see what Nhan did. Did you give Mustache Girl the timepiece?
I did.
Oh, good job. You are part of the minority there. Noackk just choosing no right there. Does not give Mustache Girl the timepiece.
That'd be nice.
So I did message. No, there he is. Hey, what's up, Noah?
Hey.
How are you feeling?
You know what? I lost, but I think in everyone's hearts, I won it with the
I agree.
Noackk potion.
Hey, you got the Noackk potion.
You get Noackk potion, it's basically a win. Honestly, I should keep going through the winner's bracket, but you know, it's just how it goes. I'm okay
I'll
with
talk
it.
to Flair and try to convince him.
Thank you. Because honestly, I really deserved it. When was the last time you saw anyone else get Noackk potion? It's never happened.
I actually don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. If
Noackk
anybody's gotten
potion,
it wrong.
first guy to get into a run, Noackk.
I never saw it on video, so now I can learn it.
Exactly.
Thank
now you
you.
can actually do something good in this game. I got your back, bro.
Oh my god. So, how are you feeling about the run overall? No.
Bad. That run sucks. I missed double dupe and I missed bag skip twice.
Yeah.
I could have made it in the bag skip. Okay, the double dupe, that was just the game bugging out, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't me. Anyways, the bag skip. I almost made it both times, but I'm a little special. I don't know, dude. I'm pretty bad. Honestly, the race was a little bit closer. Actually, a lot closer than I expected it to be, so I'll take it. I kind of expected to get like an hour run or something. Something bad.
I expect the legendary losers run. Don't let me down.
Dude, I'm going against Fuff.
Are you actually?
Yeah, Fuff lost against Dylan. He
Oh
did
my
some
god.
stupid stuff.
Never
he
mind.
killed his own run or something.
Yeah,
And now he's in losers.
he unfortunately messed up a trick you can do exiting out of the roulette, which makes your game black until you complete another time rift. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's practiced completing a time rift without being able to see. So,
And it really ruined my chances. To be honest, I was kind of hoping, well, I don't know, I guess everyone expected Dylan to lose to Fuff and me to lose to Nhan. And I was so ready to whoop Dylan. I had it mapped out in my head, and then Dylan won, and my whole plan is derailed, and there's no chance. It's ruined.
who knows? Fef could make the same mistake in a run.
If he does it again, wow. Yikes.
Yeah. That would definitely be something.
But, I guess other than... Actually, I also died in finale, because I couldn't get into the crack, but I messed up double dude, messed up bag skip, died a couple times here and there. My movement, I felt like my movement, for the most part, was decent. It wasn't good, but
Yeah,
it wasn't god-awful. Overall, I think it's an okay run, especially since I haven't played in like 6 months. I think 52 is fine. But who knows? Maybe next week when I'm racing Fuff, maybe I'll come out with like a world record run. You gotta expect that from Noackk
You
potion.
gotta prepare, man.
It's just how it goes. But other than that, yeah, pretty basic.
Well, yeah. Congratulations to Nhan. Good luck to both of you in your next runs.
Thanks.
Thing.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us for now. I don't think there are any other scheduled matches for today. Let me check. Yeah, that's the only race we have for today. So, yeah, thank you all very much for watching the Hat in Time 90% run. Congratulations to Nhan again. 50-51 to 52-27. Closer race than I think a lot of us expected. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and Pulsar, I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye.
See you.